Page 310, this is the harmonization study at the bottom of the page. The little number there that's the number to the track on the CD if you're using the CD. Same thing we just did. We have a melody, we have a list of chords, Roman numerals for the chords. We got to figure out which chord goes where. First, I want to hear the melody. It's 3 flats, so this would be in the key of E flat major. I'm guessing because it ends on an E flat. When you hear the melody, you'll be able to tell, does it sound like a major key or a minor key in it? Because it could be C minor too. I think it's E flat major. 6/8 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's that. It's definitely a major harmony. Now let's review the chords. We get a 1 chord here. We get the 5/7. Remember the 4 chord. We have a 2 chord, of course. That would be here, because you go up 1, 2 chord. And then we have a 5/7 of 4, a secondary dominant. Remember those puppies? First, it's a 5/7 of a 4. So where's the 4 chord? Well, the 4 chord is here. We're in E flat major. The 4 chord is here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an A flat chord. So I was doing it this way when I did the 4 chord before because I'm keeping my hand here, but the chord is that. The dominant of that is built on the 5th step of that chord, which is here. What makes it an E flat? A major triad plus a minor 7th is here. Because that's an octave. Major 7th, minor 7th. Sounds like a 1/7 here. So that is the 5/7 of the 4 chord. We may not use all 4 notes, but if we're in this area, then this fits as far as where we're going. We just use root position because we're already there. Because we could have used some other position, whatever, but here, it's good. Now, when do we use what? I don't know. The first one's probably going to be E flat, and the last 2 measures is probably going to be 5/7-1 here. But the others, I'm guessing because we have the 2 chord in this unit, then the third to the last measure, it's measure 6, that's probably going to be a 2 chord here. Because we got the 2, 5/7, 1 sequence going, and so I'm guessing that's the sequence for the last few measures, 3 measures. But the others, well, the first line is do it again. So what are those? Well, here, but now I want this. Well, that could be a 4 chord. But is there some other chord we're using that has the B flat in it besides a 1 chord? And that is, yeah, the secondary dominant. However, we're not going to use it here because you see the D flat. Well, in measure 5, you have a D flat. That's your hint. We're going to use a secondary dominant in that one. So on this one, I'm guessing it's going to be the 4 chord for the C at the beginning. 4 chord. This is a secondary. Now, you don't have to use secondary dominant on both. I could use the 1 first, and then secondary, and then the 2 chord. And the next to the last measure, maybe I don't want on both. They're giving us 2 lines that tells us that maybe it's changing. I don't know. But, so what has that? Well, the 2 chord does. So the last line, that would be this here. Then the 4 chord. Then a 2 chord. And then a 5/7. Then a 1. See, in the next to the last measure, if they didn't give us 2 lines underneath, I'd just do the 2 chord for both. I mean, it would fit. I mean, the 5/7 chord for both, because both of these notes are in a 5/7 chord. Huh? So but because they give us 2 lines, then I'm getting the impression they want 2 different chords there. otherwise. So in that case, it'd be a 2 chord. And then a 5/7. Well, we still got our 2 5 7 1 sequence at the end. Then the broken chord they're suggesting is that. Now here on measure 5, I don't have to play a D flat here because I have it here. I could go ahead and just stick with a 1 chord. Because that is that the harmony is still there. You have to consider both hands. However, if you would like, you can double that. Or there, I used a 1 and a secondary dominant. Secondary dominants generally then will resolve to the dominant or to their chord, so that would resolve to a 4 chord. That's how they do. So again, measure 5 would be a 1 chord, then a 5 7 a 4, and then a 4, then a 2 5 7 1. That's kind of neat how that works. Try another accompaniment then. It changes the atmosphere of the piece, the mood of the piece, based on the accompaniment and the pattern you use and so forth. When the melody is smooth, like that, I'm going to keep a smooth accompaniment. I want the accompaniment to complement or support the melody, and so I'm not going to use a choppy, against a smooth melody like that. I don't know. I haven't had enough to drink on that one yet. Now they want you to transpose this to D major. So we're going to go from E flat major down 1/2 step to D major. D major is 2 sharps. So in the music, all the notes go down 1 note. Instead of a B, it's an A. And I'm going to play F sharps and C sharps. So it's and then the C flat, or the D flat, excuse me, they're lowering it a 1/2 step from what's in the key. So here I have a C sharp, but I'm going to take it down 1 step, so it's a C natural. There. So in measure 5, the D flat becomes a C natural. Because in the key of A major, I have C sharps. So I have to lower it a 1/2 step. Then the chords in D major, 1 chord, 5 7, or here, whichever. The 4 chord, the 2 chord, and then the 5 7 of 5. If you're not sure, I don't get the 5 7, well, again, figure it out slowly. You need the 4 chord because it's a 5 7 of 4. So what's the 4 chord? 1 2 3 4. That's the 4 chord in the key of D major. Well, the 5 of that chord is this one. So I'm going to build a 7 chord on that note. I want a major triad and here. So that's the 5 7 of the 4 chord. So then we put it together here. So just block chords at first. Let's see what. Two 4 chord, and then a 2 chord, or yeah,